conflicting press releases between the government and NICTA, highlighting an alarming disconnect.
Rather, three major decisions have been made that affect us all. One being the amendment to Section 145 of the Constitution of Papua New Guinea. Two being the National Executive Council Amendment Act. And three being the Facebook shutdown under and facilitated by the Counter-Terrorism Act 2024. These are not just legal changes. Mind you, these are attacks. Attacks on our democracy, attacks on our freedom, and our attacks on our future.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow students and esteemed members of the University of Papua New Guinea, I stand before you today as a representative of the civic students. Mama's region and all the citizens of this great nation. Step down! Step down! Step down! Step down! Step down!
Welcome to PNG Trends Burner. The students of the University of Papua New Guinea are not just speaking, they are roaring. Their message is clear: democracy must be protected and leadership must be held accountable. So what is at stake here? It's no small matter. You see the PNG opposition members fighting the Draconic amendments and acts on the floor of Parliament. Now we see the new acts of Parliament taking effect. It is a big deal, and the UPNG students are taking a bold stand for justice, freedom, and the future of our nation. Let's take a look at the key issues raised in the heart of the university's Forum Square. The University of Papua New Guinea students, representing the 4 regions of Papua New Guinea, have united to address 3 critical issues: the amendment to Section 145 of the Constitution, the National Executive Council (NEC) Amendment Act, and the Facebook shutdown under the Counter-Terrorism Act 2024. But their demands go beyond policy changes. They are calling for Prime Minister James Marape to step down, holding him accountable for decisions they believe undermine democracy and suppress the voices of the people. The student representatives from all 4 regions of Papua New Guinea highlighted the key issues and proposed actionable recommendations. They call for the Marape Rosso Pangu-led government to immediately reconsider the following parliamentary changes. 1. Amendment to Section 145 of the Constitution. The recent change grants the Prime Minister an 18-month grace period after surviving a vote of no confidence. Students argue this delays accountability and propose reverting to the original 12-month period to ensure timely checks on leadership. 2. National Executive Council NEC Amendment Act. The NEC, a body meant to uphold governance, now risks becoming a tool for suppressing representation and free speech. Students demand transparency and accountability in its operations.
How are they going to be held accountable? If the legality cannot be reviewed by a court or tribunal, who will hold the NEC accountable? These are some very concerning questions. Every decision that our leaders make should be subject to scrutiny because the decisions affect a large population. Having the power to go unchecked raises opportunities for reckless decision-making.
3. Facebook shutdown under the Counter-Terrorism Act 2024. The sudden 3-day shutdown of Facebook without prior notice or consultation has raised alarms. Students view this as an attack on freedom of expression and demand judicial oversight for any future digital platform shutdowns.
We were not given prior notice of this test before it happened. Even more, there were also conflicting press releases between the government and NICTA, highlighting an alarming disconnect. Some key concerns raised by the CSU include the government's ability to exert control over such specific and private aspects of the lives of citizens.
The students also raised broader concerns about the vague definitions in the Counter-Terrorism Act, which could classify peaceful protests or criticism of government policies as acts of terrorism. They called for amendments to focus on genuine threats to national security and to protect the rights of citizens. The students' 3 main recommendations include reverting the Section 145 amendment to a 12-month grace period, amending the Counter-Terrorism Act to ensure freedom of speech and peaceful assembly are safeguarded, introducing judicial oversight for digital platform shutdowns to prevent abuse of executive power. The students' demands culminate in a powerful call for Prime Minister James Marape to step down. They argue that his leadership has failed to uphold the principles of democracy, citing the Facebook shutdown and the lack of consultation on critical amendments as evidence of a government willing to suppress dissent to maintain power.
These people must have a say, must have a criticism in whatever decision that is made and is passed by the NEC. We will not stand with this act. This act needs to be amended immediately by the government. The people of Papua New Guinea deserve transparency. They deserve to have their voices heard.
Their message is clear. Papua New Guinea deserves leadership that listens, represents and serves the people, and above all advocates for press freedom and freedom of speech for all citizens. The Upng students have shown us that when one voice rises, others follow. They are not just protesting, they are leading a movement to hold this government and other governments thereafter accountable. Their courage inspires us all to question, to stand up and to fight for the freedoms we hold dear. Above all, democracy is not a gift, it is a responsibility. It is everyone's responsibility. This strike is a call to action for every Papua New Guinean. We must ensure that no government, no law and no amendment can silence our voices. Share their message, join the conversation and stand against a government that is suppressive to the freedom of speech and holds on to power by any means of manipulative power play. Thank you. Join the growing PNG Trends Burner community today for cutting analyses of pressing issues we face today.